Literally, what the fuck has happened this year? What a complete fucking stinker. 2019 looks like fucking Blue's Clues compared to this shit. To think we started with the Australian wildfires, then we thought World War III was gonna start. Kim Jong-un apparently died like 3 times. The passing of global superstars like Kobe Bryant and Chadwick Boseman. The unjust murder of George Floyd by police. The protests that occurred afterwards. People trying to kill others during them, simply because they wanted to be treated like normal human beings. And of course, I can't forget the big C word. I haven't been alive for like 100 years, so I haven't really seen that much yet, but I find it we're living in a time that's going to be put down in history books, you know? Purely because it's been so chaotic. A lot of it doesn't really feel real. Leaving school right at the start of it all was strange, to say the least. I'd kind of built up this expectation of my final day at school in my head, you know? Seeing all my friends for the last time and going to lunch with all of them, but in reality, most of them are off on the final week due to concerns about the oncoming pandemic. That's alright, at least I can enjoy my last couple of lessons and have some stupid fun with my friends, right? Nope. I had to leave early. It's like everything I wanted out of that last day was just taken away from me because of some stupid shit that I couldn't even control. I felt so gutted and just fucked over. At the very least, I got to watch my friend get his head shaved, and that was kind of funny. But then, that was it. 5 years of secondary school built up for that. It was kind of anticlimactic. But no matter that, I was leaving school and I was moving on to college. Well, as long as I passed my exams, but until my results via predicted assessment rolled out, I had a lot of time to kill, so I did what any sane person would do. I went home, and I switched on my PC. If you know me at all, or even saw my last video, you'd probably be able to guess that I play a lot of video games, and believe it or not, when I can't leave the house for like 3 to 4 months, I'm gonna play a lot of them. Now, over lockdown, I played an absolute shit ton of video games. So much that I don't think I can even list all of them. But I want to talk about a few of my favourite ones I've played in short. Let me start with the 2 major ones, released the day my lockdown began. 2 games that kept me busy from the very start. Unfortunately, I knew my last day at school was going to be filled with nothing, so I brought on my Switch to play whenever I had some free time. A few nights before, I decided to pre-order my copy of Animal Crossing New Horizons. If you haven't heard of Animal Crossing, you must be comatose. Off the bat, I was hooked. I mean, an addictive gameplay loop that is always enjoyable and even more enjoyable with friends? Check. Looking after my island, planting flowers, building furniture, and meeting new animals and inviting them to stay onto my island? Check. The first few months of quarantine, I was completely sorted. I was playing the game every day and finding more stuff to do every day. I eventually stopped playing, but not because I got bored, I just wanted to play more games. I'm sure I'll go back to it one day. However, I made quite the change of pace in Animal Crossing pretty quickly. However, before starting this next game, I knew my reaction time, aim, and pure raw mechanical skill would need to be improved. So, I got to work. I'm ready. Without further ado, if I could pick 2 words to describe Doom Eternal, it would have to be metal AF. With an opening taking place on a demon ship, the game's music thumps through your headphones, shotgunning demons, knowing the adventure has only just begun. You're on Earth, where Hell's army is invading with the intent to enslave the human race and turn them into renewable energy. And our king, the Doomslayer, not being too keen on that idea. Need I say more? At the end of the day, this game's story, delivers, it's fine, but it really isn't the main centerpiece here. We all know what is, and that's the gameplay. The entire game, including the story, is completely off the fucking walls. I mean, you're running around at the speed of a cheetah in a spacesuit, wielding a sawed-off shotgun with a grapple hook attached to the front, that also, later on, becomes on fire. Like I said, the story takes a bit of a backseat, obviously, but it leads to some interesting locations, and you also get some nice lore to read about too. We get some more information about the Doomslayer, and also, the locations provide some also amazing skyboxes. Gameplay provides a very smooth feel of progression, like you're always being rewarded. Like for example, if you go looking for a weapon kit and then you kill some demons along the way with a glory kill, you get some health back. And if you set them on fire beforehand, you get armor too. Like, it always feels like you're being rewarded for just doing simple things. Combat has also only been improved from the first game. You can now swing on monkey bars, double jumping remains from 2016 obviously, and you can now air dash as well. Demons come at you from every angle, armed with swords for arms and cybernetic implants. But with an entire arsenal as the button press away, you never feel like the odds are stacked against you. The music alone could carry you through an entire war. I really wouldn't be surprised if in the next Doom game, the BFG is replaced by a big music sheet instead. Like other games in this video, I could talk about them forever. But this one, just go and play it. You'll really see what I mean. I don't think I'd be stretching it if I said that me and Metro Exodus had a kind of toxic relationship. On my first playthrough in April of last year, I encountered a game-breaking bug which completely stopped me from progressing through the story. You know that thing that Metro is famously good at? Telling a good story? Yeah, I kind of got that ripped from me 7 or so hours in. I tried fixing it through numerous means, whether that be downloading new save files or verifying game files. Nothing worked. So I uninstalled it. I hate to admit it, but I gave up. I uninstalled it and I tried to block it from my memory, wishing not to play it again and risk getting even more annoyed at that stupid game-breaking bug. But months later, the boredom of lockdown got to me once again and I couldn't help myself. So I went back to it. I restarted the game almost entirely from scratch, and I set out to finish it once and for all. And in the end, I really enjoyed my time with Exodus. Its 2 open sandbox levels were absolutely the highlight for me. And they managed to keep the amazing atmosphere from the previous games, which really shined in the more closed-off spaces, like the flooded terrain out in the Volga, a snow-capped section of the Russian wilderness inhabited by a fanatical cult, driven by their hatred for technology, or the military bunker in the Caspian Sea, now a dried-up style Mad Wax? Are you fucking kidding? A Mad Max style wasteland controlled by slavers. As with previous Metro games, your choices matter and control where the story goes and what happens to your train's crew. Whether they die, leave, or get injured. It's all dependent on you being good, fair, and not killing innocents. Sometimes going stealthy might not appeal to you. Like, you might want to go out and use all your precious ammo in an amazing blaze of glory, but in the end it'll all pay off. Through all those lows I faced, the highs overwhelmed them in the end. With its brutal and unforgiving combat, its open levels encouraging a lot of exploration and never wanting to leave a stone unturned. I left Exodus feeling something that most games should be feeling. Wanting more, but completely and utterly satisfied. Over the last year or so, I've had a lot of time to reflect. But instead, I took that time and said, fuck it, I'm gonna play video games. And if I'm being completely honest, I wouldn't have had it any other way. I've played way more games that I've mentioned, obviously. Mainly stuff like Warzone. Even though I've now uninstalled reconnected me with old friends, and I made entirely new ones, who I'm very grateful for, and who I'm sure hopefully will be watching the final cut of this video. Games like Sea of Thieves, which were a great time with the boys.
This is what you do when you need a shit in a ship.
I had some fun on Minecraft with them as well. Wasteland 3 reminded me RPGs can still be great. Apex reminded me Battle Royales can still be actually fun. And The Last of Us 2, despite the negative press it got, told an enthralling story and accentuated it with some nice gameplay, even though it could have been way, way, way better. And replaying Red Dead Redemption 2 reminded me that Arthur Morgan is gaming's greatest protagonist, and that I am a massive pussy. 2020 has been fucking wild. It's been terrible, but we've learned so much about ourselves and each other. We've experienced new things, and even while apart, we stayed together. And like it or not, gaming was a huge part of that. And dare I say, it may have saved us all.